Excuse me.
And I think like when we talk about like the culture of recovery of our new sobriety or new-founded sobriety life, it's also like we've been talking about that whole just identity and how do I now present myself to myself and how do I present myself to everybody that I'm interacting with, and absolutely I'm gonna get to those meetings that are like, whoa, this is not what I kind of anticipated, whatever, into those days where I'm like, I did not anticipate this day. Because again, how do we deal with all of that stuff that's going on around us when I'm so used to just drinking it away and using it away. They're like, how do I do this? And so the only way I know how to do this is just to be with people that have more sobriety time than I do and keep working the steps. But not only just that, but now what else do I want to do with my life? I have to find stuff that's gonna keep me busy enough so that I don't have to have a bored day, a bored moment to go drink, so that I can but not busy enough where I'm not dealing with myself. I don't want to become such a workaholic next, or because what do I do? So in my sobriety, I figured out there's things I like to do besides drinking.
Fortunately for me, being a workaholic is something I don't think I'll ever have to. Yeah, I got that one covered.
One of the things that I found out I like to do besides drink was to work with wood. Like get that sander, get an old piece of wood, sand it down, and do whatever with it, and rehammer it, take it apart, sand it, that's what I like to do in my sobriety time.
You make tomahawk candles?
Huh?
Tomahawk candles?
What's
A tomahawk.
No.
I'm in need of one, actually. I really am. Sorry. Sidebar there.
No.
That's something I'm
Back
recovery
away
too.
slowly.
You never know. That's something I would say to a meeting. Hey, you make tomahawk candles? Keep coming back.
Keep coming back. And it's things like that. So that's what we're talking about. Like when you cultivate your newfounded sobriety, what are we doing with our time now that we're not drinking? Am I still in my room worrying and thinking and obsessively thinking about that next drink? Or am I out and about? Am I cleaning my yard? Am I working with whatever? Do I go to other functions, other sobriety functions? To me, that was a huge thing. I got to as many functions as possible that were not drinking. I would go to the Red Road Convention. I'd go sit with the drum. I'd go just do different things. And I was just so excited to have just a little bit of understanding of something besides drinking in my life.
That was like in 2000. That was in the mid-90s when you came, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that album. It was really, the Indian sobriety movement now is really, really strong. It still is, but there was just a lot more things doing. There used to be Indian sobriety campouts. Boy, I really used to like those.
Yeah.
The one thing about hobby and boredom, real quick, is the brain is, because I like all things the brain because I really need help with that. But the way the brain translates boredom is, the brain translates boredom as, this is bullshit. Why am I doing this? This doesn't work. The brain translates boredom as proof that this isn't worth it. So if you find yourself bored, you're doing something wrong, which means just go explore. There's a whole world out there.
One of my sponsors, she told me, if you get bored, take everything out of your cupboard, clean it, and put it back. My cupboards were clean for quite some time.
Did you have clean salt shakers and everything too?
Everything,
no
because
grease on them?
I did not want to get to that point of drinking. So I did whatever I needed to do to make sure that I didn't go, maybe if I just had a few sips. Because I know I don't do just a few sips. Yeah. So I had to do whatever I needed to do, change everything up. And that's what they say in the program. We change our playpens, our play pals, and we have to change the places that we used to go drink, and we change the people that we used to drink with. Because in my sobriety, I want to be with people that are sober. I want to go places where it's sober functions, because that's the only way I know how to stay sober. Because I'm an alcoholic, and I don't know how to just sip. I don't know how to just have a champagne and put it down and be done with it for the year. I don't know how to do that. So I have to keep busy, and I have to make sure that I'm just in this moment sober.
So that would be normal drinking, right? Just being able to have a. If I could drink normal.
If I could drink normal.
I would do it all the time. Yeah, if I could drink normal, I drink all the time.
I drink all the time.
Normally.
Whatever
I guess
that
was
is.
normal.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not just in drinking, but in using as well. I didn't know how to just have, just a hit or two off of a joint. I don't know how to do that. It'd be like, okay, where's this?
Yeah.
And then I could start, right? 'Cause I don't know how to just have like just one thing or just a little tab or something. Give me all of it. Now.
The only way I could have like one hit, getting high, like we were at a party, the only way I could have one hit if it was like one of those 6-foot bongs. 'Cause one hit of that would like kick my ass, man. I'd be like, oh, that was always a guaranteed blackout for me. I finally started learning out of my drinking that if I could get high and drink, I'd be okay. But if I was drunk and I got high, it was like instant blackout, and I'd wake up with this. God, that's a good one right there. We should do a topic on blackouts. Oh, ooh.
But then I don't remember them, so how do I talk about them?
Well, where you woke up and what state, what country you woke up in.
Well, and here's the interesting thing about that too. That's the reason why I didn't think I was an alcoholic, is because I was like, well, I never had blackouts. Because I didn't remember them.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, see, I'm not an alcoholic.
What kept you coming back in that culture of recovery at that time in Albuquerque in the mid-90s? What was it about that culture that attracted you?
I think it was, one, people told me, keep coming back. And that to me was important because before that, it was like, what are you doing here? Why are you here again?
Again? Hi.
Again, I know. Hi, and here she comes. But people told me keep coming back, and I knew that I wanted what they had, and I think also for me it was like that spiritual component that we talk about in the rooms of recovery, and that was because again in growing up I didn't have a spiritual foundation. To me, religion was for weak people. That was for people, simple-minded people. That was for people who weren't strong enough to hold their own. And so for me, coming to the program, the G-O-D word kind of threw me for a minute. I was like, wait, I thought we were talking about drinking. I didn't know we were going to talk about God in these rooms. And so it really threw me until I realized it of my own understanding, a higher power of my own understanding, something greater than myself. Because I thought it was the greatest thing there was. I didn't think there was a greater thing than myself.
I think that's a really important thing to bring up for people who are wanting to give this a go, is that like 12-step programs and whatnot, it's not a religion. It's anthropologically speaking, it might seem kind of cultish, but it's a different culture. But I mean, I think one of the biggest myths, at least in Navajo Nation, that I've ran into over the last 18 years of working with people is that to get sober, one has to become Christian. I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but I mean, amongst some of the people I hang with, generally anybody since I'm old, but that I used to hang with, I'm pretty much like the Antichrist, man. I'm like, I'm a proud sober heathen, and that's fine because I don't walk that path. It took me a lot of work to get through that. That there's some people who do that, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I walk a different path. So don't be freaked out when you go to a meeting. I remember the praying really freaked me out in the beginning. I was like, oh shit.
It freaked me out. Like, in fact, I wouldn't pray when I first came into the rooms. I was like, I got my own thing to say here.
You know what?
And so, and it wasn't until, because I used to go to the Indian Center, Albuquerque Indian Center, and we used to have meetings there, and it was my turn to open up the Friday ones. So I'd open up the Friday ones, and nobody was showing up. Nobody was showing up, and I was like, well, but I'm here to open up the meeting. Someday somebody will walk in. And one day somebody walked in. And I guess he was an old timer. And we had our meeting, and it was just me and him. So we say the prayer at the end, right? You hold hands, and we say the prayer at the end. And Of course, I didn't say anything because I have my own thing to say. I'm not going to say no Christian Lord's Prayer.
I still don't actually. When they say the Lord's Prayer, I don't say it just because, and that's okay. Actually,
and that's totally fine.
I've heard
totally fine.
I've heard people back east like, and you go to a meeting and it's like mostly Jewish people there. They don't close with the Lord's Prayer. You know, as one told me, you know, a Jewish friend from back east that. No, we say the other prayers. We'll say the third step prayer or something like that, you know.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's not a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement. But if somebody wants what we have, it is suggested that we find a higher power of our own understanding, something greater than ourselves. And to me, that was key. That was key. That's what attracted me to this program. Was that it didn't say you have to be this and you have to be that. It is suggested that this is what we do.
Well, we could have a whole series of topics just on that, and we will. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depthly. Anyway, thanks for checking us out, and come back and see us again. We'll have a lot more topics. Hopefully, I'm going to try to get videos up maybe twice a week at least in the beginning, and we'll get a little catalog going. That'll be really cool. So anyway, we'll see you soon.